Right, I'm shouting at you now. Can you hear me? Can you see me okay for here? Right, let's get the show on the road. Ankles, okay, this is my makeshift wall. Nice big heavy keg, full of nothing. So all I'm going to do, again, hopefully you can see me better. If your ankle mobility is not the best, as in you try to lift your toes and maybe they don't lift so well, then you're going to struggle to get straight into a good stretch off the bat, okay? So for most people, you'll be able to just get your toes pretty high up on a wall. You're trying to get the heel as close to the wall as you can. So this is where if you've got bad ankle mobility, you might have to lean back, okay, to get that heel close to the wall. So it's getting the right setup position, because a lot of people, they do it and end up, see how it's just my toes? It's just my toes on the wall. The ball of my foot's not on the wall at all. That's useless, because when I go on top of this, all I'm going to do is slide down the wall, and all I'll do is feel a stretch in my toes. So that's no use. So let's get into this stretch. Okay, so let's say I've got terrible ankle mobility. I'm going to lean back just so I can get the toes right high up the wall and get that heel as close to the wall as I can. Then I'm going to have a slight bend in my knee. Okay, so I'm not going towards the wall with a straight leg. I'm keeping a slight bend in the knee, and I'm going to get up on top of it. Now this is where I'm going to struggle, because I don't have something to hold on to, but I can still get a great stretch from this. So all I'm doing is I'm trying to push my knee closer to the wall. So it's important that you keep that slight bend. Okay, if you keep the leg locked out, you're going to feel it in the calf muscle here more. We're wanting to try and get this stretch right down the bottom here. You want to feel more like you're stretching out tendons and ligaments and all that kind of stuff, okay, which is kind of what we're trying to do here. But at the same time, if it's pretty jammed up tight, maybe give it, as always, I'll always recommend giving a couple, maybe 3 little light bounces on these kind of stretches at the start. Don't keep doing it, okay? Leslie, are you doing this morning, or are you just on to watch, or have you frozen? I think you're frozen. Oh no, you haven't, your mouth moved. You're just watching this morning, just chilling. That's fine, that's all right then. I'm only kidding. Where's your cup of tea? Get that back. Right, I do apologise, it's really windy here, so the back door's blowing, everything's making a racket, so if you can't hear me too well, I apologise. So I've got a slight bend in my knee. It looks like I'm just chilling out here. I'm not. What I'm trying to do is actively take it further and further and further. Okay, so I can make this pretty uncomfortable. I'm always keeping that slight bend in my knee, but I'm trying to shift myself closer and closer to the wall. In a nutshell, all I'm trying to do is stretch this out more and more. If it's pretty tight, as I was saying, a couple of bounces of the joint, as in do, that'll make you realise if it's tensed up or not and help you relax it a little bit, okay? So again, with all these stretches, if you've been doing these mobility classes for a bit now, you know that we're not just hanging out here chilling, we're taking it to a point that's uncomfortable, then trying to take it further and further and further. So although it looks like I'm just stood here talking, which I am taking this a little bit further and further and further, okay, until it starts to feel pretty uncomfortable. But at the same time, pain is not what we're trying to inflict upon ourselves, so just be careful. We get a lot of tied up tight tissue around the ankle here, especially if you're not in the habit of doing this kind of stretch. Now this can be done anywhere. You can do this on your doorstep, you can do it on the bottom stair, okay, and you can get really up on top of it. But against the wall, in my opinion, is the best way to get it done. We can get that heel right up high, the heel up high, toes up high, and get a great stretch against the wall, okay? So we're holding it for a bit of time here, but I'm taking it further and further. Please keep in mind that every so often, as in maybe 10, 20 seconds, you're trying to take it a little bit further until it's getting to that point where it's really uncomfortable. And that's the thing about this kind of stuff, okay? It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but holding a stretch for 30 seconds, it's not going to do you much benefit, okay? You'll maybe maintain, but we certainly won't develop. In these mobility classes, flexibility classes, it's about developing your range of movements in these joints, okay? Right, we're going to ease out slowly, and I want you just to walk around, because that might be a little bit painful, okay? Let the blood flow, let the blood get back into the joint, okay, before we move on to the next side. So hopefully you were feeling that better. If you weren't, let your voice be heard, okay? But at the same time, if you know why you're not feeling it, as in you've got slidey socks on against a nice gloss painted skirting board, and your foot's just going then obviously you're not going to feel it, okay? Right, I'm going back into it, so it helps to have a rubber-soled shoe on. All I'm doing, again, I'm talking you through it. Let's say my ankle mobility is really bad, so I try to get my toes up the wall, but I can't really get them very far, so I end up with just my toes on the wall, And then, you know, like I say, I'm not feeling anything in my calf at all. If you've got your toes far up that wall, you've got your heel as close to the wall as you possibly can, then 100% you're going to feel it where we're meant to be feeling it, okay? Start moving it. And again, keep the knee slightly bent. Every so often, just try and push that knee forward. You're still going to feel it in the actual calf muscle up top here, but we're trying to keep the focus on the heel, okay? So this is where I've just got into the stretch. It's feeling pretty tight. I'll maybe give it a couple of bounces, okay? 1, 2, 3, and I can feel that, yep, I was probably not the most relaxed in that joint there. And it sometimes just helps you relax, in my opinion, okay? We don't want to be sitting bouncing a stretch all day long. I just like to give it a couple of bounces, and that goes for most of them. See the ones that are most uncomfortable or really feel like stress positions, give them a couple of bounces, and then a lot of the time you'll find that you're actually tensing up against it. So the joint's not properly relaxed. So you have to constantly think, yep, although it's uncomfortable and I'm trying to increase the range, make sure the joint's relaxed, okay? Otherwise we're not getting the whole point in it. So for me right now, I like to just, you know, give you something to compare to. My left ankle feels a lot tighter than my right. Why is that? I don't know. So again, you might have to move the position of your body. All you're trying to do with your body is get body weight up on top of that joint, pushing down, okay? So you're trying to use your body weight to take it further and enhance the stretch. So you might have to move the other leg to do that. It just depends on your setup, okay? I'm probably getting a better stretch than I normally do with this beer keg. Might have to start carrying it around with me. But again, you can be creative with this. You can do this one anywhere. And again, if you run a lot, if you do a lot of running, you'll often find that your ankles are pretty jammed up tight unless you keep on top of this stuff, okay? And again, you don't realise it just doing this stretch. I won't go through the whole explaining it and showing you how it works. But if your ankle joint's pretty tight, it doesn't even have to be really tight, okay? Even if you're just a little bit tight through the range of movement in your ankles, which a lot of people are, it's going to massively affect your squats. As you go down, the knee can't bend properly because your ankles aren't moving freely. And that's where you start losing balance, falling forward, or your heels start coming off the ground. Good, and I want you to relax slowly out of that, okay? And then usual sketch, walk around everybody, walk around. So it's an open forum this morning. It's an open forum, as in I've got the routine planned, but if anybody wants to jump in at any time, all I'm doing for your logic is working from the ankles up. So if we start moving up and we're maybe starting to pass an area you think, oh, can we do that stretch? If you're on live, please let your voice be heard and let me know, okay? So if you're feeling that you want to do a certain area, let me know. Simple as that. Right, where are we at next? So we've done with ankles. I'm bringing the vote to you, runners. Do you want to do the one where we're sat on our shins? You know, the one where we're stretching that big long muscle here? You want to do that one? Anyone? Thumbs up, thumbs down, something. Come on, there's not that many. You just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let's do it, okay? I hate the vegetative fluke of no decisions made. Right, so I'm putting it to you this morning. Please, I am, like I say, working from up to top. Working from bottom up to the top. So what am I doing here? I'm getting my knees roughly shoulder width apart. Okay, I'll show you from the front first. And then all I'm doing is trying to sit down, but this is the one where you need to focus. You need to focus on relaxing. So what am I trying to stretch out? See the big muscle that runs up the front of your shins that you probably don't even realise you have? It gets forgotten about. I'm trying to stretch that out. How do I stretch that out? Basically the opposite of the wall stretch, okay? So my toes are going the other way now. So if you look at my ankle joint again, the purpose of this stretch is that I'm trying to get that down straight, flat against the floor, okay? Now that is an area where you'll feel that as you start going into this stretch and it starts getting a little bit uncomfortable, you'll find that you're tensing up in here. So that's where it's a good idea just to give it a couple of bounces and think, oh I can feel that I'm tensed up against that, and it'll just help you relax. Now take care, because this does put your knees through a full range of movement. So just be careful and don't be getting pain, okay, on this one. So all I'm doing is I'm trying to sit my butt in between, not on my heels, I'm sitting it in between. Now for the first part of this, I'm feeling it pretty tight. So it's enough just to hold this position. Although it looks like I'm just sat here, I'm slowly lowering down my butt, putting more and more weight onto those toes Again, I'm trying to flatten this out. That's all I'm trying to think about, is get that part of my, what would you call that? The front of your foot. Trying to get the front of your foot flat against the floor. I'm sure there's a name, but I'll be damned if I can remember it. Good, so what you can do to enhance this stretch, and this is where you have to be careful, okay? You're going back this way now. But you have to, again, you have to be trying to relax that joint, okay? But you do what works for you. That's better for me, if I'm honest. If I go back that way, I just get pain in my knee. I've got a dodgy knee. Again, I'm not harping on about it, but that's where everybody's different. If I go back to that extreme, I start getting pain, okay? And that's what we don't want. Discomfort's one thing, but pain, nope. We don't want pain. So again, you can go back behind it. That'll let you get more weight down onto it. But for me, I'm not taking it any further. That doesn't mean to say you don't. If you can get back there, all you're doing on the back version is just same thing, except you can get more weight down on it, okay? You can put a bit more weight down on it. Again, every so often, maybe on this one, just give it a slight bounce and make sure that those ankle joints are fully relaxed. If you're doing this properly, you're going to feel it right up the front of your shins, right deep in the front of that ankle. Okay, and that's where for a lot of people, especially runners, okay, this one gets disregarded a lot. And it certainly is a muscle that people don't realise they have, I think. It's not one you really see. Good, and I want you to slowly ease out of that one, because this one's going to be weird again. When you start letting that blood flow around the joint, it's going to be pretty uncomfortable. So up on our feet we go, up on our feet we go. Good, and keep sipping the water. As always, get the water on. It's a nice chilled mobility class this morning. Cleanse your soul. Right.
You almost get like a weird kind of pins and needles kind of sensation with that around your ankles.
That's where you need to be careful. You might be, if you're getting pins and needles, you may be restricting the blood flow.
I know, I don't actually, but just that kind of tingliness, like it's kind of weird.
No, that's what I mean. You have to be careful. As in, pins and needles, aye. Usually pins and needles is maybe just a restriction in blood. Okay, you're probably crushing all the blood vessels and stuff when you're pushing down on it. But that's where you have to be careful as well. You don't want to do it to the point where you get up and you've got a floppy ankle because you've got no control of it anymore. So pins and needles, manage it. If pins and needles are getting worse, then ease out of it and try and restore it. Pain, I suppose pins and needles would technically come under the pain train, as in we don't really want to be getting anything like that, okay? We're starting to maybe bother our nerves a little bit. If you're starting to get heat, any kind of hot, you know, the hot iron sensation, or you're starting to get tingling, or maybe the other way where it's starting to go a little bit numb, that's when I would say, right, ease out a little bit, let some blood back in. Maybe you're restricting the nerve endings a little bit. So that's what I mean. Be sensible, okay? If it's pins and needles, or if I'm feeling a little bit of tingling, then I'll probably just keep going. But if it's starting to feel like it's getting worse, then ease out of it, okay? So that kind of technically would come under pain, even though it's not painful. So I hope that makes sense to you. That's where you've got to try and self-manage it, because again, a lot of these, you'll be putting yourself in right weird restricted positions, so you might just not. That's why when we stand up, it feels a little bit sore, okay? We're starting to let the blood back into the joint a little bit, so get on with it, Mark. I'm only kidding. Good point, very well presented. Right, we're going to get into the quads. Again, quads, there's not a lot we can do other than the classic quad stretch, your kind of runner stretch. So it's a good idea you have something to hold on to, but you don't technically have to, okay? And all I'm going to, I don't know why I pulled that up actually, because I can't even hold on to it. So all I'm going to do is I'm grabbing my laces. So grab your laces, don't grab the actual toes. And it's knees together. I'm showing you from the side, because the first part is knees together. And if you're pretty tight, you'll probably feel that your hips aren't quite locked out here. So knees together first, and then push through with the butt, push through with the hips. And straight away, you should feel that up the front of your leg, okay? So all I'm going to do is hobble over to here, okay? And I'm just using this for balance. So lean against the wall, lean against anything. It's better, because if you've got great balance, that's fine. But for 3 minutes of holding this stretch, you're going to start feeling the muscles in the opposite leg are going to start getting pretty fatigued. And all I want to be able to do for this 2-3 minutes is take it as far as I can and keep taking it as far as I can. Okay, I'm not easing out of it. Be careful with this one that you don't keep easing out of it. Knees together, I'm squeezing the butt through, okay? And I'm standing up nice and tall, nice and proud. So this is the quads, okay? Those big muscle group that runs down the front of your thighs. There's not a lot we can do with it in terms of stretching other than this. Of course, there's ways to enhance this stretch, but we're doing it no equipment. But you'll often find you jam something into these quads. If you do a lot of exercise, if you sit down while this muscle group's relaxed and you start prodding your elbow into them, you'll probably find a lot of knotted up, tied up tissue, okay? The quads can be horrendous. If you don't keep on top of your quads, as in, you know, if you don't foam roll, do I foam roll? No. I like to, say I do. I do 3 foam rolling movements before I train usually. Okay, it's usually the quads, it's usually the glutes, and it's usually my upper back. But the quads is one that I always keep on top of now, because the day I discovered a foam roller and foam rolled my quads was the day I got a tear in my eye. It's absolutely horrendous. So you'll find a lot of tied up, knotted up tissue in there. You can do it with your hands, get your elbows stuck in there when you're sitting watching telly. Okay, there's a lot of productive things we could be doing sitting watching TV. Right, okay, we're going to change legs. So hopefully, again, I'm going to stop harping on about taking it further, and hopefully you've got that discipline in your head now. Okay, the initial part of the stretch is taking it to the point where, right, okay, that's me pretty much at my limit, but it's not too uncomfortable. And then I'm just focusing on my breathing, and I'm trying to take it further and further and further and further and further. Okay, good. That's it, Leslie, you finish off your tea and crumpets before you get into this stretch. There we are now, good. That's it, you just do it at your leisure. Saturday morning after all, what's the rush? Good. So again, what am I doing? I'm trying to push my hips through. How do I do that? I squeeze my glutes. Okay, so those glutes are squeezing through, and I'm getting a good stretch up the front of my leg. It's not really a place that, you won't get a lot of folk going, oh, I've got tight quads. But they can be tight without you realising it, okay? And that's going to restrict, again, movement in the knee. Might even cause pain in the knee. Might even cause your knee to move a little bit weird when you're squatting. Okay, so I'm taking it as far as I can. Keep holding it, keep taking it. After this stretch, get your towels, okay? So if you haven't got your towels to hand, get a towel. If you don't have a towel, don't stress, okay? You can still do the stretch, but it's pretty crap without a towel, because you'll just end up turning into a stress position. Ease out of that one. Okay, a towel. You don't need a crazy long towel. If you don't have one, so I've got like a kind of, it's pretty much a hand towel, that I would say. You can't have too long a towel, put it that way. Your towel can't be too long. So if you've got a big towel, that's even better. All I want you to do is just roll it up a little bit, okay? It doesn't need to be crazy tight. It's just so we don't have a big stupid gaggly towel, okay? So, oh, come on, just whack it into just grab it to each end and go like that, for goodness sake. I'm seeing people starting to fold it up and everything. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'll explain the stretch, so please don't just jump into it. So the towel is basically replacing the, what are you laughing at, Leslie? The towel is basically replacing the job of a resistance band. So a resistance band is far superior. Well, it's not far superior, it's not that much of a difference really. But all it's allowing me to do is pull. So what you need to make sure on this one is you're always keeping the knee locked out, okay? Don't let the knee bend. That's something you have to be conscious of, because as soon as you start bending that knee, that hamstring starts shortening, so we're not stretching it anymore. Where you feel this could be anywhere from the ankle all the way right into the jacksie, okay? So all I'm doing here is I'm hooking it round the ball of your foot. Now, everybody happy with the ball of your foot? It's where the toes connect. Okay, I think some people sometimes aren't sure. Ball of the foot is not your heel. You've got the heel, and then you've got the ball at the front, or at least last time I checked. Now, why am I putting it there? Because straight away, if you pull that towel, what's happening? You start pulling the toes towards your shin. When you pull your toes towards the shin, we start lengthening all this straight away. The purpose of this towel is so that we can get a good quality stretch. So all I'm going to do is go back, 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 back. Now notice, my knee's not bending, okay? I'm keeping that knee jammed. I'm pulling the towel down, okay? So pull the towel down. Take it to a point in which you think, right, you know what? It's pretty uncomfortable. The leg, this is important. The other leg has to be straight, relaxed, and on the floor, okay? No point being like this, everybody. Get that leg straight. If you have to go back to reset, do that now, okay? And we take it to a point in which you're feeling a damn good but pretty uncomfortable stretch, okay? Now, your hands might get tired. This is where a resistance band will be better. Your hands might get tired grabbing that towel, okay? So what you can do, I don't care what you do, but you'll probably see me changing arms, as in holding it with one arm. Now, what am I doing? I'm trying to pull the leg towards my chest, okay? Now, why are we easing out of that one, Mark? This one's for you. You and your tight hammies. So the knee's locked out. A good indicator of good hamstring mobility here is if you can lie flat on your back, have your knee locked out, and I can't even see myself on the camera, the screen's too small, but your leg's at 90 degrees, okay? So if you're round about where I am now, and that might take a wee bit of work if you're not in the habit of doing this sort of stuff, that's good hamstring mobility, okay? Now, you might find that you're more 45 degrees, and it's really uncomfortable, and you can't quite get your back on the floor because your towel's not long enough, but that's fine, okay? You make do with what you got. So this is one that you can really go for on it, so make sure you do, okay? I'm not going to keep repeating it now. Take it as far as you can. Keep trying to pull it down. Keep trying to pull that knee back further. That leg, you're trying to get it more this way as much as you can, okay? I'm trying to get it this way as much as I can. I'm not just striving for 90 degrees. I'm striving beyond. Now, this is probably, well, it's not probably, this is, in my opinion, the best hamstring stretch you can get, okay? The best. And all I'm trying to do is pull it more and more. The purpose of that towel, remember, pull it down. Okay, I'm trying to jam that femur back into the socket while I'm stretching this out. Some of you might be feeling it in your lower back, you might feel it in your glutes. But, you know, if you're not feeling it, it's because your knee's not locked out. It's as simple as that. That is the only way you will not be feeling this, is because your knee's not locked out. Last 30 seconds, take it as far as you can now. This is where it gets pretty uncomfortable. I'm pulling that towel down and I'm pulling that knee back. Oft. Good. That's all I'm saying. That's a damn good stretch. Make sure you're relaxing into that towel that you're pulling yourself down into. Great work, everybody. Keep it going. Take it further, take it further, take it further. And slowly relax. Good. So that's your hamstring, okay? So if you were able to get that up to roughly 90 degrees to the floor, and you've been going around saying, oh, I've got tight hamstrings. You don't, okay? So a lot of the time, yep, you might have found that pretty awful, or you might have been nowhere near 90 degrees, then yes, you've got tight hamstrings. But again, a lot of people, so change legs. A lot of people go around saying, oh, I've got tight hamstrings. I hear it a lot. People come in my door, I've got tight hamstrings. They don't have tight hamstrings. They've got a tight groin, tight glutes, and a lot of the time the hamstrings are fine. So what am I saying if you're having any bother with this stretch, let me know now, but I'm pretty confident you're all feeling that. If you're not, then chances are you've bent the knee. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going back, my knee's locked out, I'm pulling the towel. The purpose of the towel is to pull down on, okay? That's the purpose of the towel, to pull down on, okay? That leg comes back, so as you can see, I'm not quite 90 degrees yet. I'm pretty much taking it to that initial point where it's pretty damn stiff. And I'm just going to hang there, breathe, try and take it a little bit further, but constantly keeping that tension on there. Constantly keeping that tension on there. Mark, you need to get those knees straighter. That left knee, that left leg, get it straight. Move it back down. If you're where I am now and your leg looks like this with a slight bend, move it back down a little bit, straighten it out, and then pull it back in, okay? We need to move through the full range with our knee locked out. This is where you'll realise if your towel's too short. Like my towel is a bit short for me, okay? Because I'm kind of holding a core stress position now. My core's getting tired, but I'm still getting a great stretch. And the thing is, I've got a bloody resistance band there as well. But I just don't want to make you feel left out. We're improvising, so I might as well do the same. Good. Keep the tension on it. Keep pulling it towards you. Pull that towel down. Start shifting that leg back more and more and more. You're really going to feel it. You're really going to feel it on that hammy. Damn good stretch. Enjoy it. It's a damn good one. "30 seconds, everybody. This is where we get better. This is where you take it further. This is where it really is uncomfortable now. And you'll be surprised just how much you can actually get that leg back just by forcing it. But again, be sensible. Don't go too far if you can't go that far." Good, and I want you to slowly ease out of that. Great work. Right, you can put your towels away. Happy with that one, everybody? That's a damn good one. Now you can stand up, try and touch your toes. You'll feel that it's flowing probably a lot better if your hamstrings were jammed up a little bit. Good one to keep on top of as well, the hamstring mobility. Very good one to keep on top of. So it's an indicator straight away. If you're getting good hamstring mobility, you'll be getting up at 90 degrees with that towel with a straight leg. If you're not quite achieving 90 degrees, don't stress. Just keep doing it and you soon will be able to, okay? Right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. So, what have we done? We've done the quads. We've done the hammies. Let's do the hip flexors, okay? I think that's a pretty good one. And you might find that your hip flexor stretch, this is the sofa variation. If you've got a sofa, crack on with the sofa. If you don't have a sofa, so I'm getting a double mat here. So it's a good idea to get a good cushion. If you're getting that foot up against the sofa, it's a good idea to get a good cushion. So in fact, I'll show you the other leg first. If you don't have something, as in a sofa or a raised area or a wall, where the hell are you? Don't worry, you can still do this stretch just like this. Okay, you can still do it like that. So everything I talk you through, you might look like this. That's fine, okay, it's fine. But if you've got the ability to, then do it. Get that foot up against the wall. Okay, and the purpose of this is to enhance the stretch. It's to enhance the stretch straight away, so when we start going into this stretch, you feel it even more. Make sure the knee's nice and close to whatever you've got your foot on, if it's the couch or the wall, because if it's not close, you're kind of defeating the purpose, okay? No point having an elevated foot and then my knee being here, okay? Kind of defeats the purpose. So if you've got like a 45-degree angle at your shin, get your knee closer to the wall, okay? We want to be, obviously try and find comfort. No point, this is where you're going to need a good bit of cushioning, maybe if you're on a hard floor. So first part of this leg is always going to move around. That's up to you, okay? You're going to have to maybe maneuver yourself into better positions or to find a better way of stretching this. For the first part here, just holding here, I'm feeling a good bit of tightness. I feel that my pelvis is almost sitting like that, okay? Because there is a lot of tightness in that side for me. So what am I doing? I'm trying to squeeze the butt, I'm trying to align that pelvis first and slowly try and get myself vertical, okay? Even though it looks like I'm vertical, I don't know what I look like in the camera, but it feels more like I'm like this at the hips, okay? So if you're feeling like that, although it looks like I'm just sat here chilling, I'm constantly pushing my butt through my hips, and I'm feeling that on my quads, and as I start to get these hips through, I'm starting to feel it more on the hip flexor here, okay? So you're trying to feel it more in the hip here, but if your quads are really tight, it might take you a wee while to get that feeling, okay? But make sure you're pushing the hips through. And again, shift the weight around on this leg to try and get that better. That's something you have to work out. Okay. Now again, what you can do is get that arm up of the leg that you're stretching, lift it up straight and use it as a bit of leverage to get back. And that might help get the hips forward more, okay? So if you're struggling to get those hips through, having that arm up and leaning back a little bit might help that. Might. If it's not helping it, don't do it. Simple as that. But when I do that and lean back a little bit, it's helping me get the hips through. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling that. Hopefully you're getting a good stretch out of this one. So quads, hip flexors are getting it here. And again, play around with the position if you like. Try maybe twisting away. Anyway, you know, it's not just static stretch holds like I keep saying to you with these classes. If I'm holding this stretch, if I move this way, I feel I'm enhancing it a little bit. You might not. That's where you just have to play around with it. Find the little pockets of tightness. Yes, I'm holding that stretch, I'm not letting it go, but by manoeuvring around into different positions, I might be able to enhance that stretch, or I might find tightness in these different ranges. What I'm not doing when I'm moving around is easing in and out of it. That stretch is solid, okay? Right, we're going to change legs. Change legs, simple as it is. Again, make sure that knee, make sure we're planting those knees nice and close to the wall, okay? So your shin is as vertical as you can manage. Otherwise, again, it's just kind of defeating the purpose. Okay, so let's do it. So this side for me is a lot looser. And all I'm doing, again, just looks, probably if you're watching me, like I'm just sitting here chilling. I'm not, I'm pushing through, I'm pushing my hips through. I'm pushing my hips through and I'm trying to take it further and further and further. So for the first part of this stretch, just getting past the quads and then getting that hip flexor in. And I do that by squeezing my butt through. And then again, if you want to, try the arm up. Try the arm up, and all I'm doing by putting the arm up is leaning back a little bit, which is helping lengthen that hip flexor area out, and also using a bit of leverage to help push the hips through. But again, if you do that and you think, bloody hell, that's if you're really tight on the upper body and you go like this, it's not going to help your stretch, okay? It's only if you're able to get that arm up nice and straight without any limitations and use it as a bit of leverage to get back, you might be able to enhance that stretch a bit more, okay? Make sure you're still pushing the hips through. Make sure you're always trying to push those hips through. All I'm trying to do is lock the hips out that way, okay? I'm trying to push them through that way. Good. It's looking good, everybody. It's looking good. Take it as far as you can now. This is again the point where you're really starting to try and develop now. So let's try and take it further than we can. No, not further than we can, because then we wouldn't go further, would we? Bad choice of words. And again, you can try twisting away from it. That might help. It might not help. I certainly feel like I'm getting a bit of stretch when I start twisting around and away. Good. Ease out of that one, everybody. Get up, shake around, get a bit of water on board. I encourage you to get a drink if you've got one, because we're about to go into the groin stretch, which is a long one, okay? We're not doing the kneeling groin stretch today because we're doing, I feel this one's better. If I was to pick two, I would always choose this one. So this is the big lunge, the kind of warrior lunge one where we're manoeuvring around. It's pretty much in every mobility class, so it's pretty obvious why that is, because it's one of the best ones, I think. Out of all the stretches, this is one of the better ones. So if you know it, get into it, get exploring, get it done. If you don't, or you just want to crack on with me, then please do. All I'm doing here is getting myself into a big lunge position, some big step forwards. I'm grabbing my foot, so you can see my elbows on the inside of my leg. I'm grabbing the foot here, I'm planting the hand next to it, and then that back leg, I'm just pushing away from me to try and settle myself down. Okay, so you might find you can get down a wee bit lower with those hips after doing the hip flexor stretch. So all I'm doing, I'll show you from the side what I'm trying to do. So that back leg, as you can see, is just straight. I'm not really focusing on the back leg. Do what you want with the back leg, as long as I'm able to feel a good stretch in the hip area, in the groin area, and from here, I'm trying to push that chest up. So I'm trying to lift the chest. I'm lifting the chest up to get that upper back straight. I'm pushing my hips down to get my lower back nice and straight. And when I say straight, it's not straight, it's neutral. Okay? So from the front, I'm moving round so you can see what the hell I'm trying to do. So I'm pretty sure, again, if you've been doing a few classes, you know exactly what we're doing here. First part of this stretch is just the initial, feeling it in the groin. You might feel it more in the hip flexor, it just depends. Again, I do apologise for the noise. One hell of a wind out the other day. Rattling that door. Right, so my chest's forced up. I'm pushing my hips down. I'm trying, first of all, now on this one, to move away from my knee. Now, before you start moving away from the knee, because I know some of you are eager, make sure you're continually trying to push the hips down and you're continually trying to force the chest up like I am now. Don't start moving away and starting to do this, okay? Every time I start to move away from that knee, every little bit, I should feel that stretch enhance, okay? If you move a little bit away from it and you don't feel an enhancement in the stretch, then you're doing something wrong. Make sure that knee doesn't start coming with you. So as I'm twisting away, I'm pushing that knee away, okay? I'm not using my hand, but this is the motion I'm trying to do with my knee, okay? I'm doing it with my knee now as we speak. It's crazy, I'm using the force. I'm pushing my knee away from me and I'm twisting towards the opposite direction, okay? But I'm continually pushing my hips down and forcing the chest up. You play around with this position now, okay? So for me here, feeling a good stretch, pushing the hips down. I might try doing this now. I might try going down here. Am I feeling that? No, I'm not feeling anything there. I just get into a weird position. Now I'm just going to try and keep pushing that knee out and maybe lower my body down. And that's stretching that out more. Okay, I'm getting more of a stretch that way. And again, as you can see, I'm holding the stretch. I'm never easing out of it. But I'm manoeuvring my body around into different positions to try and see if there is other little pockets of tightness. Okay, so again, I'm not easing in and out. I'm just trying to find if there's any little ways I'm a little bit tighter, okay? And just try and manipulate it, okay? So I'm moving back to the center again, okay? So I'm back here, not easing out of it. You know what's coming next, we're going the other way. So now I'm going the other way. Phase one, I keep saying phase one, how many phase ones is there? Just start twisting towards the knee, okay? So I'm trying to twist towards, okay? Now before we do that, I want you to try something here, okay? We're going out the norm now. I want you to try and start rolling that ankle, okay? So you can see, oh, it's breaking all the rules. Okay, so I'm starting to roll that ankle, and you might have to move that back knee over a little bit. But now, you can see that's elevated, yep. I'm going to try and get my chest towards my ankle, but by having that ankle elevated, you're maybe going to start feeling it more in your glutes now, as if by magic, okay? Now you might feel pressure on your ankle, you might feel uncomfortable on your ankle, but that's where you manage that, okay? You don't start hurting yourself. So as you can see, that foot's elevated, I've dropped my knee out that way, and now I'm trying to move my chest down, down. And by doing that, it's kind of like doing a glute stretch, but I'm still getting that in my groin. So as you can see, you can be creative with this. Now I'm going to drop my elbow, I'm going to get really down. I'm going to get really down into this. Okay, and this is where I can really feel that in that hip capsule. It's horrible, but it's good. Bloody uncomfortable, but it's good, okay? So I've still got that foot elevated. And again, all I'm doing here is just trying to find ways to enhance this, but I'm not easing in and out. Okay, right, plant that foot again. Over here, are you with us? Are you all with me? This is a long one, this is a long one. Okay, let's get this. Do your best, okay? Now this stretch, all these crazy positions I'm getting into, that takes time. Okay, if you start going like this and going, oh, and that's enough for you, that's enough for you. Like I say, as long as you're taking it as far as you can, and you're taking it out with your comfort zone and you're pushing it a little bit, each time you do this, you're gonna get further and further and further, okay? I didn't just wake up one morning and I could go like this, whoa, okay? When I first started doing this stretch, like I say, I was like this. I was like, bloody hell, okay? It was hard, but again, practice, keep doing it. You get better at it. It's just like fitness. It is fitness. What is fitness? Right, okay, thoracic spine time. We're in this position, right? Karen, what are you doing? Get back down there. Hand is closest to the foot. Up we go. Now I want you to take your time. Okay, now again, if you have not got the best mobility in the world, you'll probably find you more like this, and that's fine. You take it to the point you can. Now I'm back down, and this is the harder side now. Keep pushing those hips down. Keep pulling the chest up, and I just want you to go side to side with a good pause. And it might take you a few rotations just to open that up, okay? Now, again, you might be like this. Ah, what the bloody hell? Just keep trying. Okay, you're gonna get better. I'd say do at least 3 on each side with a good stretch and a good pause. Good, and I want you to ease out. Now, we have been in that for a while, okay? So you're gonna be uncomfortable. Get up. Jeez, oh, walk around. I'm only kidding. Right. Imagine I hurt myself in more mobility class. Right, walk around, shake out. I'm gonna let you walk around a wee bit because that was quite a long stretch. And we've got to do it on the other side now. Or wouldn't it be weird if we just didn't bother? Okay, so next side. Exactly the same sequence. It's a long stretch, but we're getting a lot in that one. A hell of a lot. Okay, so you probably feel a little bit kind of lopsided now. Right, you know the stretch. I don't need to show you side on, we're getting straight into it. So first part is just easier. It's easier if you pin the foot and you put the hand in line with that pinned foot and then maneuver yourself around. So for the first part, again, it's feeling pretty stiff. So phase 1 of this is just being able to achieve a good stretch, holding this classic position, okay? Now you don't need to pin the foot the whole time, okay? That's just to get you in the right position because a lot of time people's hands are too far away forwards or backwards. So once you feel you've got a good position, it's then up to you to do what you can to make that position better. Now for me right now, just holding this, got a lot of tightness. So you play around with it. You don't just hold a position and go, it's all right this. Take it as far as you can, okay? Get stuck into it. And then when you're ready, I'm looking at you. When you're ready, start maneuvering the other way, okay? So my hips are down and I'm starting to turn around. But again, that knee, pulling it away from me. And I'm only going a little bit at a time because I'm trying to keep the feel of the stretch there, okay? If you just go boom, right away around, you're going to lose it. And you might not get far, and that's okay. You go as far as you can. With this version, I'm thinking more about pushing down with my hips more than anything else. As I start rotating round, pushing my hips down. And again, you play around with it. Try maybe lowering yourself as you pull the knee away. Am I getting more there? Yeah, I am. Again, don't just think of those long muscles. Think of that joint, okay? I'm trying to manipulate it. I'm trying to maneuver around. Mobilize. We're trying to mobilize the joint, okay? So you move around. Loosen it off any way you can. Good. I want you to come back to the center in your own time when you're ready. We're going to do the same on this side. So if you're not quite sure what we've done last time, all I'm doing is pulling that knee away from me till my foot starts lifting off. Okay, so now that my foot's lifted off and that knee's probably about 45 degrees, you're going to have to shift your back leg to try and make that foot a bit more central. Okay, and then all I'm doing now is just getting down there. It's probably better if you pin it with the hand and push your elbow into the knee. Okay, so you can see, like I say, it's almost like doing that enhanced glute stretch, but a really bad version of it. When I say bad version, it's not a bad version. I mean, you're not doing a good job of getting into that pigeon pose thing. So again, for me now, I'm going to drop that elbow, but that's again, it might be too much. You might not be able to drop that elbow, and if you can't, that's fine. You're working towards it. All I'm trying to do is get my chest towards my ankle. Try. I say try because you're probably not going to be able to do that. If you can, then hats off to you. I don't even know if that's possible. Someone probably can. Good, well done everyone. So again, by having that elevated foot, as in the sole's not touching the ground, or more on the side, you're going to feel it more in the hip capsule. You're going to feel more pressure on that hip, glutes. Good. Great work, everyone. So now I'm back to the center slowly. I'm not easing out, do not ease out. Keep pushing those hips down. Okay, we ain't done yet. And now it's thoracic spine time. So take your time with this. Up, push the hips down. Easy side first is always the hand closest to the foot, and then that harder side. Oh, geez, do that one again, that was a disaster. Try and push the hips down as you do it. So again, I'm trying to get a bit of a pause on these side stretches. At least 3 controlled stretches. And then slowly ease out and please walk around. Please walk around and let everything flow in your own time. If you're still going, please keep going. Good, so walk around, have a shake. Did you not just see me? Trying to keep a straight face. That's what it feels. Aye, it's a horror. You can do a lot with that one. There's a lot of variations, but I mean, you can spend a good bit of time in that one. But that's one again. If you try and squat now, it might be a little bit achy. Okay, that's where this stuff. You're pushing yourself out your comfort zone. It might be a little bit achy, but you probably feel like your hips are a bit more loose. Okay, might be a little bit achy, like I say. We have held those horrible stress positions for a bit of time, and that's why again you're really kind of forcing it into these ranges. Perfectly normal for maybe the day or the day after to be a little bit achy, okay? To maybe think, oh, feel that deep in that joint. You might, but you shouldn't be getting uncomfortably painful from it or hurting yourself. Right, where are we at? Geez, we've actually done quite a lot this morning. We're not doing the glutes because we just kind of done the glutes. Not the best way, but I don't want to waste time doing that one today. Not that we're wasting time. I want to get into the upper body very quickly. Right, okay, where are we feeling? Oh, forget it. Doesn't matter. Nobody will answer me. We're going to do the upper body stretch, okay? As in the one that's the next best thing to a dead hang when you've got no equipment. It's not a groin stretch, okay? So in fact, I'll talk you through it. It's probably better to try and talk you through it. I'm on all fours. All I want you to do is start walking the hands forwards. Now, my chest doesn't go with it. I want your chest to go down towards the floor, and I want your head to go towards the floor, okay? Now, make sure that your elbows stay locked out on this one. So again, watch me first so you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to push my chest down. Now my knees, I might have to maneuver my knees back a little bit. I might even have to move them forward just to make sure I'm getting a good stretch. Where do you feel it? You're going to feel it on the back. Okay, you're going to feel it, well, it's not going to feel at the back, it's going to feel at the sides. These big back muscles, especially more in here where I'm pointing right at the armpit. We got a lot of tightness in there. You're going to feel it maybe on the front of the chest, shoulders area as well. Again, a lot of tightness in these areas, and that's what's going to hamper your overhead mobility, okay? So there's not a lot to explain in this one other than you're trying to get down lower and lower and lower and basically simulate hanging off of something, okay? So just imagine you're hanging off a bar or something. Now, I'm not resting the head on the floor. If you've got good overhead mobility and you feel you can get into a position I am, move your legs back further and you'll be able to enhance it even further, okay? What I don't want to see is people just sitting like this and chilling out, okay? This is where you have to be creative. Try keeping your chest fixed over the same position and maybe walking your fingertips forwards while pulling away from them, and you'll maybe feel an even better stretch. Again, it depends where you're tight. For me, I'm feeling it more in my lats, okay? Those latissimus dorsi, those big muscles running down the sides. Well, it's actually your back, but it feels like the sides of your back. That's what I'm getting on this. So now I'm trying to imagine that my hands have just been super glued and I'm trying to pull away from them now, and that's stretching out even better. So again, be creative. Don't just hold a Don't just hold a stretch. Try and enhance it. And keep playing around with it. Keep trying to maneuver into better positions. Enhance the stretch. See if you can find better ways of getting further. Good, and I want you to ease out slowly. Okay, slowly. Get the blood back in those shoulders. Good. Oh, we'll do chest. We'll do chest. So triceps is like, you know, you can do that one. You can do it up against, you can do this one up against the wall. We're not doing it because I think it's something you can do at the end if you want. It's pretty simple. Just stretching the triceps out, up against the wall, away you go, but we're not doing it. We'll do the stretch with the chest. I don't know if where's the camera pointing, you can't see me if I go over there. I'm gonna have to go to the back wall, okay? All I'm trying to do is open up the chest, okay? So I'm gonna grab onto the wall or anything you can grab onto. You don't have to go to a door frame, you can do it against a flat wall, okay? All I'm trying to do, if you look at me now before I move away, I'm keeping the shoulder blade tucked in to keep that shoulder in the joint. That arm's going back behind me. And all I'm trying to do is stretch this area out, okay? This area here is getting stretched out. So be creative. How do we do that? We move that arm further and further away. Make sure when you enhance the stretch that you don't start doing this, okay, and lifting that shoulder out the joint. So for me, I've got a door frame here, but you could just pretend if this was a wall, same idea, okay? I could be doing this. So all I'm doing, using that door frame, and as you can see, keep the shoulder, don't let the shoulder roll. Keep the shoulder in, keep the chest up, and just twist away. Now, again, it depends where you're tight. I'm trying to feel a stretch here, but at the same time, if your biceps are pretty tight, they're going to be feeling a good solid stretch on this one as well. So maneuver around, change position. The angle of this arm, pretty much you can try lowering it. Try lowering it down to maybe 45 degrees, that might make a difference. But then if you don't, bring it back up. For me, that's probably more 90 degrees to the body. 90 degrees? Is that 90 degrees? Yes. Okay, so for me personally, I'm still getting a bit of a stretch in here, but I'm feeling it a lot in the biceps, okay? I'm feeling it all down the front of my arms. Now this is where be creative. Try maybe moving your neck away. Does that enhance the stretch? Try twisting your body right or well away from it. Make sure the whole time though you're staying proud. Don't start arching into it. Stay up tall, stay up proud. And hopefully you're feeling that, okay? So you can do it in a door frame, you can do it on against a flat wall. Your face right up against it. That still works fine. And it's being creative. How do we stretch that out? We maneuver the joint back the way, okay? So any way you can be creative for this one. You can try twisting your body away all the more now. So you can do a lot with this. Again, it looks like I'm just holding it. But there is different ways. And just make sure that you're stood up tall and proud. Good, and relax. Good, and change arms. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start turning away from you now. So change arms, again, make sure you're stood up tall, stood up proud. Get the arm anchored and just start maneuvering away from it until you're starting to feel a stretch. Again, where you feel it is down to you. You might feel it more down the front of the whole arm, bicep, forearm. You might feel it more in the chest, shoulder area, okay? So now, picture that this is a wall that I'm against right now, okay? It works just fine. This wall, imagine this wall here goes all the way along there. Same thing, okay? I can still get up against it. And I'm feeling that. Good. Hopefully you're all feeling that. It's a good one. Be creative with it. Change angles of your body. Try and enhance it any way you can. Make sure you're up tall, make sure you're up proud. You can get a lot from this one if you manoeuvre it around. You might be in some weird kind of crushed spider kind of position, but if it's working for you, it's working for you. Good. Ease out very slowly. Unless you were late to the party, you can keep doing it if you want. Right, how's that? Feeling okay? Obviously there's not enough time to do everything in an hour.